Welcome to our third annual celebration of scholarship support at Chatham University. My name is Barbara Heffer. My husband, John, and I have been longtime supporters of Chatham. We have established the Heffer Scholars Program, a series of expendable awards for 2 undergraduate students each year. Special thanks to President David Feingold for joining us, as well as fellow alum Joanne Fiedler. Please feel free to share any questions you have in the chat box or question and answer box as you listen to today's presentation, or wait for the Q&A session with our student panelists to begin to ask your questions directly. We will do our best to have as many questions answered before we close at 12:45. I now have the pleasure of introducing you today to today's special guest speaker, and I just actually met him 5 minutes ago, Mr. Brian Dwyer, Chatham's Director of Undergraduate Admissions and Recruitment. Mr. Dwyer brings nearly a decade of experience in Chatham's Office of Enrollment Management. He joined Chatham University in 2015 with a background in nonprofit management. He has served the Chatham community as an undergraduate admissions counselor, assistant director of undergraduate admission, and associate director of undergraduate admission. He holds certification in green building and design, sustainable community health and wellness, as well as a master's in environmental communication. During his time at Chatham, Mr. Dwyer dedicated much of his focus to growing the undergraduate Falk School of Sustainability and Environment programs at the Eden Hall campus. In addition to growth at Eden Hall campus, he is proud to say that he was part of the undergraduate admissions team that welcomed the largest undergraduate class in the history of Chatham. Before I transfer the mic to Brian, I just want to add a personal note. I was very fortunate to come to Chatham as a full pay student. I loved my time there, but in truth, I don't think I really valued the education I received as much as I should have. And fast forward over 50 years, the Chatham scholars that I have met, that we have supported, are a remarkable group of women. They have worked hard to get here. They have worked hard to stay here, and they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the support, the scholarship support. So it does make a difference. It makes a difference for the recipients, but it certainly makes a big difference in the life of a donor. And with that in mind, I'm going to pass the mic to Brian.
Thank you so much for your kind introduction, Barbara, and good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be sharing this space with you all today, and I'm really excited to share an enrollment update on Chatham University with you all. So without further ado, I'm going to get into just kind of some of the points that we'll talk about today. Also joined on the call with me is my supervisor, Amy Becker, who is the Vice President of Enrollment Management. And she's also gonna discuss some slides with us as well too. But we're gonna go over some really exciting enrollment updates, the impact that scholarships have on our student body, and then we'll hand it over to Dr. Feingold and our student panel. But right now, in terms of a state of the union and where we stand from an enrollment perspective at Chatham University, we're really excited to have a population of 2,400 students across our undergraduate and graduate programs here at the university. Something that is exciting is our undergraduate enrollment as a school continues to grow and has recently surpassed our graduate enrollment. There's a lot that we think is particular to that and just offering the liberal arts education that we have at Chatham. Just to give you a sample profile of the students that we have coming here, and this is from data from the fall 2022 incoming class, about 30% of Chatham University students are coming from out of state. that's something where as we are expanding regionally, we have wonderful athletics programs. We have wonderful outreach and travel to these schools and relationship building with school counselors that we're really excited to be expanding Chatham's footprint outside of just Southwestern Pennsylvania. 26% of our students identify as first generation students, being the first in their family to go to college. And this is actually a 25% increase in applications for our first generation student population. So really making Chatham an affordable destination has always been a focus. And of course, something that we're here to celebrate today. 21% of our students are identify as Alana, which stands for African American, Latina, and Native American. One of the exciting things is we're looking at the fall 2023 incoming class in our inquiry and applicant pool, especially our applicant pool, would be a 36% increase in applications of Alana students. We have targeted work towards our urban school systems, making sure we are visible and present throughout the entire Southwestern Pennsylvania community, but then also our counseling staff. They have territories and geographic regions with some major cities in there as well. So our travel and our communication with school counselors is always targeted there. 35% of our students identify as male. In terms of the national average, when we're comparing where we stand against other schools who are all gender or coeducational, that national average sits at about 60% women versus 40% men. So the fact that we're quite in line with that national average there, and really supporting that work through both athletics and non-student athletes, that's something we're very excited about. 37% of our students, though, are student athletes here. They are wonderful contributors to the academic community here at Chatham. They're not necessarily coming to Chatham, as I work with the coaches, they're not coming to Chatham just for, necessarily the sport, but the opportunity to really involve themselves across leadership, across academics, across research. And this is something that is also helping our growth at a local, regional, and national level. Again, 30% of our students are Pell eligible. And so again, as we're trying to make Chatham an affordable destination for our students, this is something where we're always having targeted outreach and focus in the form of financial aid conversations, talking about the value of Chatham University and welcoming them, and of course, welcoming them to our campus community. A really important component of our applicant pool, though, I would draw to some of our 3+2 agreement, or excuse me, our 3+2 integrated degree programs here at Chatham. This represents approximately 40% of our applicant pool, noting some sort of interest in IDP. Again, integrated degree program is what that stands for. The slide in front of you that you'll see highlights some of the more popular programs that we offer, and where we see a lot of our enrollment focus from an undergraduate perspective and what they're thinking about from a graduate level perspective as they're continuing their education. One of the things I'm most excited to be working with, though, is just how do we partner? How do we not just become a destination for college-bound students, but what are other ways that Chatham University, especially the Office of Enrollment Management, what are ways that we're a resource to the surrounding community? And so some of the names that I'm going to discuss here, these are local partners who we've been working with over the past few years or up until recently. But then we also have some national partners such as Verto, which is really kind of honing in on students' ability to study abroad and take a gap year and then transition back into Chatham. We actually had a student who started this spring 23 who is a part of Verto. We are excited about. But making Chatham a destination, the Environmental Charter School as well as the Neighborhood Learning Alliance have partnered with us on dual enrollment programs, so students being able to take college level classes and receive college level credit in high school. And they're partnering and working with our professors here at Chatham University. Light Centers, which is a very social justice focus and a partnership with the Holocaust Museum here on campus. We just hosted around 38 students here on Chatham's campus, and also talking about community service that they were doing, but ways they integrate with the community. And that's had great success on building Chatham as a destination. The other one, the Hillel School, that's been a wonderful case of dual enrollment as well, kind of going back to the Environmental Charter School and the Neighborhood Learning Alliance. And then upcoming in February, we will be hosting YWCA in around 40 middle school and about 40 middle school girls for an early college introduction session and getting them acquainted with the Chatham University community, questions that they could be asking as they're transitioning from middle school to high school. But all the same, this list, it can always grow. It is always growing. Our team is always welcoming new recommendations and suggestions. So certainly, if you have some ways that you think we can be partnering with local community-based organizations, we're more than happy to welcome those in. I'm going to hand it over to Amy here to discuss some of the more financial numbers.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. So one of the reasons we always like to introduce our current cost of attendance is because the scholarships that our alumni and our donors provide really do help make Chatham an affordable option. This is our current tuition and fees for the 2023 new academic year starting in the fall. You can see our tuition and fees, room and board estimates there, making our total cost of attendance a little over $57,000. As we look at the different ways that students then finance that, the vast majority of how they defray those costs is through scholarships and support. Chatham provides merit aid for academically excellent students that ranges between $17,000 and $25,000. Outside of that, donors make up a large percentage of that as well through merit-based awards or specific expendable awards that we can provide. But then the self-help that the students provide towards their education is work study, and also loans that they take out. And a vast majority, nearly 95% of our students that attend Chatham do take out outside loans to help finance their education. When you look at the different kinds of scholarships that we provide, this is just a quick, short list of just a few examples. But we still do, for many of our alumni that are on the call today, we still do the Rachel Carson Book Award. That's from nominations of high school juniors, and we still deliver Silent Spring, Rachel Carson's book, to those students that are nominated out of the high school. So I always like to make sure you know that legacy scholarship is still there. We do also still have awards specifically for Chatham alumna members and their children and grandchildren that are attending Chatham. We do a sibling grant, but then we have other new scholarships that we brought to the market to help support local Pittsburgh Promise students. Those are students attending Pittsburgh Public Schools, as well as trying to grow the arts and the humanities here, recognizing talent in those areas. And then, of course, our donor awards that make such a difference. We have implemented the Laurel Rice Scholarship as part of our academic scholarship interview days, where faculty are nominating top interview candidates, and we're able to top up that award with that named award. We also have the Heifer Family Scholarship for Women. As Barbara mentioned, that is targeting and really raising awareness for very strong women leaders that are national, that have academic excellence and want to be involved to raise, that part of the campus community. And then we have the Karen Lake Scholarship that we work with students of color and our first generation students, really encouraging them to apply, because what we find is that while we have students in our applicant pool, oftentimes students aren't aware of the resources that are available to them. So really helping raise their awareness around those scholarships that are here to help make college affordable. Brian.
So one of my final slides here is key events and student referrals. Just in this past year, in this application cycle, one of the big things that we see is that students who are applying to Chatham, they're referred by someone familiar with campus. They're referred to by graduates of the graduate program, by graduates of the undergraduate program. So your referrals, that pride in your alma mater, those are things that really drive forward our enrollment and continue our enrollment success year over year here at the institution. Some of these that we've just kind of mentioned, like I said, word of mouth is really important for us for awareness and affinity. I'm sure a lot of you know how secluded we can be in a very urban area. So finding that as a destination where students can really, diversify their experience from, very urban to urban neighborhood is awesome. Over 50% of Chatham's applicant and inquiry pool is from out of state. And so familiarizing themselves with campus, familiarizing themselves with the city of Pittsburgh, that's really important, which is going to drive home what their connection is to the school. Maybe they're visiting other schools and they're interested in Pittsburgh, they're interested in Southwestern Pennsylvania, and they haven't quite found their fit. We're really seeing that Chatham is this destination that kind of gives them a lot of what they're looking for. But a campus visit at the end of the day for our office is really where we're tracking the likelihood to enroll. And that's something that, we continue to focus on year over year. So as we're transitioning into the spring 23 here, these are some upcoming events that please feel free to refer a student, welcome a student, invite a student to. Just to kind of go down the list of them and provide a little bit of feedback would be our January 26th and February 16th Falk School Scholarship Day, academic visit days. These occur at our Eden Hall campus where our students are getting hands-on learning experience with Falk School faculty across environmental science, sustainability, in food studies. That is a top indicator of yield for that school as well. So certainly pushing people to that campus. January 29th, as well as February 19th, these are our scholarship interview days. One of the big things that we talk about with Chatham is value. And so the benefit of getting stackable scholarship money while at the same time finding that faculty connection, finding that champion, if you will, within your major who's willing to sit down and talk with you about the things that they're excited about, why they chose Chatham, even upcoming things that they could be excited about as a student in that major coming to our school. Those are wonderful opportunities that kind of add that value to the stackable scholarship that they receive. This goes back to, our 50% of our inquiry and applicant pool being from out of state. We know that not everyone can visit us Monday through Friday, and that can be challenging, especially with different work schedules that are out there. So we've certainly made ourselves available for February 4th as well as March 18th for Saturday visit days. And these are a great way to kind of connect with campus, tour campus, connect with our student ambassadors, hang out with our admissions counseling team. We'll do a lot of different things from financial aid counseling to talking about scholarships to touring campus, having athletic recruits talk with coaches there. So it's a really exciting day for students, but then also finding your fit in the Chatham community. February 20th, academic visit day. That's a huge one for us. A lot of our academic visit days are just because that student can sit down, observe, and see themselves, find their fit in the Chatham community. And then finally, April 29th, April starts our cycle of really engaging that sophomore and junior population. So students starting in the fall 24 or the fall 25. The spring open house is specifically there so that way students and families alike, whether you're a junior or a sophomore, you can start your college search process. Or even if you're a senior, you haven't had that opportunity to visit campus yet, you want to get on campus, we'll also be having some very senior fall 23 targeted sessions as well. But the other part of that too is Chatham isn't only staying here in Shadyside. We're going out on a regional level this year, this upcoming spring. So we'll be anywhere from Columbus, Ohio through Pittsburgh, up to Buffalo and Rochester, over to New Jersey for the national college fairs that are occurring there throughout the state of Pennsylvania. And our Pennsylvania college fairs with our school counselors will be there, as well as local and regional fairs. If there's ones that you think you don't see us at, we should be invited to, please, again, more than happy to welcome that in. welcome that opportunity in and expand our footprint. But I thank you all so much for your time. At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Feingold and our student panel.
Hi, everyone. Dana, it's saying I can't start. Oh, there we go. It's great to be with you and excited to hear from three great students here at Chatham. Before we do, I just wanted to thank Brian and Amy for sharing where we are with enrollment, and Barbara and Joanne, our co-hosts for today's event, and all of you who are joining us who've so generously supported scholarships at Chatham. It really makes a huge difference to our students. So today we're joined by three great students at different stages in their studies at Chatham. Mackenzie Lewis, who is a first year in the psychology program, Liz Ruskowski, who is a senior also in psychology as well as criminology, and Madeline or Maddie Bell, who is a first year in biology. I'd love to start by just asking each of the students to tell us a little bit about where they came from, how it was they chose Chatham, and the role that scholarships played in that. Mackenzie, could we start with you?
Yeah, hello. I'm from Indiana, Pennsylvania. It's about an hour out of Pittsburgh. And I chose Chatham because living kind of near Pittsburgh, any big event we came to Pittsburgh, and I always, like, as a kid, was so excited to come. I really loved the city. And I toured a few my senior year. I was looking at Pittsburgh, but I really chose Chatham because anytime I talked to an admissions counselor, I came to visit those events that Brian had talked about, I have felt very, very welcomed. And I was able to, of course, win a scholarship that Miss Heffer had supplied. She's the one who introduced this meeting. I'm very thankful for that. That really just sealed the deal for me and made me feel comfortable and really supported my process to start in college.
Great. Liz, you want to share a little about your journey?
Yeah, of course, I'd love to. Hi, everybody. My name's Liz. As Dr. Feingold said, I am a senior. I'm graduating this semester. I am a double major in psychology and criminology. And I'm from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And I guess that kind of starts my story with scholarships. Johnstown, Pennsylvania, for those of you who do not know, is one of the most impoverished towns in Pennsylvania. So I come from a home with a single mother and two siblings. And so for me, scholarships were something that I knew I would need, something that I knew that if I wanted to be successful and if I wanted to be a college student, I had to find. I did choose Chatham not only because of the scholarships, but also the location. It was incredibly important to me to be somewhere where I had opportunity. But I'm not much of a city girl. Coming from a small town, Pittsburgh was a little scary at first. Lots of, concrete buildings and traffic. So I was a little worried about that. And for that exact reason, I actually chose Chatham. I remember touring Chatham and seeing rolling hills of grass and people hammocking from the, stands on the quad, and lots of people walking their dogs around. And for me, it felt so much like home the second I walked onto campus that I couldn't have imagined choosing anywhere else. I am, as a senior, involved in so much on campus. I'm an RA in our women's LLC. I'm the vice president of communications for our student government. I'm chair of the communication engagement committee, chief of public relations for student government. I'm a student employee at advancement with several of the lovely people on this call. And then I'm also an intern at Southwood Psychiatric. So not only has Chatham been a blessing for me in academics as well as supporting me through scholarships, but I also have had the chance to get involved in things that I hold very close to my heart.
And do you still have time to take classes with all that?
I do. Thankfully, I do have time to, take classes. I'm a firm believer in staying busy keeps me on schedule. So,
well, you're definitely living that. Maddie, you want to tell us a little bit about where you came from and why you chose Chatham?
Yes, hello, I'm Maddie. I'm from Carnegie, Bridgeville area of Pennsylvania, about 30 minutes away. So when I was looking for a school, I definitely wanted something local. So I was looking in the Pittsburgh area. I've always loved the city. Like coming down has always been like a special occasion for me. And definitely looked around at all of the schools. But coming to Chatham, I think everyone is so surprised because it's just like it's outstanding when you come and see how beautiful it is. So it was kind of like it was a dream school, but I was a little worried. And so after like looking at all my options and, the scholarships definitely played a part and are really the reason that I was even able to choose this school. And so I'm very grateful. And compared to the rest of the schools, Chatham was very generous with its scholarships. So I'm just happy that I was able to pick like almost like a dream school and like it to be in a good price range that, I'm getting the best of both worlds. And also more into that, like Chatham is definitely special. I feel like even when I'm working at admissions and I'm also a lab aide. And so when I'm giving towards it, it's very easy to be genuine and just talk truly like how I feel about the school because I really do love it. And the aspects of it being small are very comforting and, you get great opportunities, especially since I'm in the science field, you get great opportunities with your professors, getting to know them. And as a freshman, I'm getting to work like as a lab aide, but I am getting that experience. And that's something that I don't think I'd be able to find at another school. So definitely cherish like those special things about Chatham. But yeah.
And I'd encourage all of our participants, if you'd like, please post a question if you have for any of our students in the Q&A. While we're waiting to see the questions that are posted, Maddie and Liz, you've already shared a little about what you're involved with. Mackenzie, can you say a bit about what you've been doing since you arrived at Chatham?
Oh, yeah, of course. I work with Liz in the Office of University Advancement. I really love it there. I love getting to talk to donors and hearing like their stories of before I was here and kind of like the legacy of Chatham. I also work with, I go to events for the Women Institute. I just started a certificate in women and gender studies. So they hold films and little kind of gatherings on campus. I love going to those and supporting the Queer Student Alliance.
Great. Could you each share maybe a favorite sort of fun Chatham story that you've had since you got here, something that surprised you or sort of a favorite moment since you started at Chatham? Liz, maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, of course. I was actually just thinking of this earlier in the day. So a Chatham tradition that we have that we actually had to take a break from because of COVID, but we got back to this year is the beginning of the semester picnic. So as a student leader, I moved in a little bit earlier than the first years and the returning students. But on the Sunday before classes start, every single person is on campus. So it's definitely full. And we have our start of the semester picnic, and that is held on the Sunday before classes start. It's honestly so much fun. There's like a photo booth, there's music, everybody is there. President Feingold comes, his dog is there, we love her. And this year, actually, I brought my dog, Hank, and it was great. We walked around. There's nothing better than seeing college students excited about a dog. So yeah, it's really great. Faculty come, staff come, and it's kind of a great kickoff to the semester. So that's definitely one of my warmest Chatham moments.
Great. Maddie, how about for you?
Something that surprised me was that a lot of people on campus, like they went all out for Halloween and they decorated the whole like the dining hall. It was so fun. And then afterwards, like a lot of the students went trick-or-treating and we've all been curious about like the big houses around. So we got to go see those and we actually went to Dr. Feingold's house as well. And it was just fun to like walk by other students and like see different costumes. And I just thought it was a sweet moment to see like everyone involved with that.
So who on Woodland Road has the best giveaways for future years?
I'm not sure who it was, but it was this little old lady and she had a giant basket of like the extreme airheads. So that was a very good treat.
Great. Mackenzie, how about for you?
I don't think I have a favorite moment specifically, but I really love how Chatham and like different clubs or offices always have little pop-up events. Such as like I think this Thursday there's our ramen. You can go make ramen bowls in the carriage house. There's a lot of bingo. There's drag queen bingo. One instance it was an off-campus dean's hour. My friends and I went and we played laser tag for a few hours. And it was around Halloween, so we went across the highway to get the little buckets with the Happy Meals they have around Halloween, and that was just I was sweaty after, but it was just a lovely night and it was supported by the school.
That's great. And I'm glad to hear we've got a ramen night. I must admit, I was a little surprised. Our volleyball team did really well this year. And when we went to play them in the semifinals at Teal to try to get the fans excited, instead of throwing T-shirts into the crowd, they were throwing pots of ramen and the students were just going crazy. So it was nearly hit in the head by some ramen, but it's good to know that we've got the ramen on the menu as well. So we've got a couple of questions in the chat. One is asking about your future goals and plans. I know for a couple of you, you're just early in the days, but it's never too early to be thinking about what are you thinking about doing after your Chatham education? Maybe Liz, we'll start with you and then we'll go around.
Yeah, so I definitely need to have what I'm doing figured out, right? As a second semester senior. Thankfully, I'm on the right track. I actually plan to go straight into a master's program and then into a doctoral program. If I'm being honest, this has kind of been what I've been set on since I was like 12. I've always wanted a doctorate in psychology. And for a workforce plan, I actually plan to work in state hospitals with children who are juvenile delinquents. I am very passionate about giving back. I'm very passionate about giving back in ways that, people gave to me. And so focusing on the younger generation for me is very important. And it's also something I'm incredibly passionate about and excited about. So that's what I plan to do after graduation in terms of like academics and work. I actually am planning to stay in Pittsburgh because I fell in love with the city when I came to Chatham. Just everything about it has really appealed to me, especially in Shadyside. And also the closer that I stay to the Chatham community, the more that I can kind of integrate myself as an alum. So
that's awesome. And I can tell you from what I'm hearing from professionals, there's a huge need with the increase in mental health issues that we're seeing. I think folks working particularly with young people around those issues and counseling. So no doubt you'll be really successful in that. Maddie and Mackenzie, have you started thinking at all about what you want to do next when you finish? I know you've got several years to go.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a plan going on because as you said, it's still pretty early, but I'm a psych major and I know that I at least want to enter a helping profession. So we've explored a few routes like in high school this year. We've looked around. I don't have my heart set on anything, but I do know that, I wish to graduate and maybe entering a counseling practice, opening my own. And if I do further education, I do plan on staying in Pittsburgh because it's not too far from home and just I love the Pittsburgh community. So no matter what I do, I just want to stay close and find something to help other people.
Great. Maddie, how about you?
I'm currently studying biology. However, I haven't even chosen like a specific way I want to go with it. There's like, of course, medical, environmental, there's like, researching evolution, things like that, which all sound very interesting. And I feel like right now I'm just taking some basic classes and I plan on, taking more involved classes to kind of see which one would be most interesting to me. And also getting a job as a lab aide has like helped me and hopefully can get me into some research to see if like I could do something with the research, but I'm not exactly sure right now, but I am sticking to Chatham, and hopefully if I do need to go to grad school and stuff, I know they have a lot of great like medical programs here as well. So that's always an option.
Yeah, a ton of our bio majors are looking at one of the health science degrees. And I would strongly encourage you. I think one of the most exciting things over my 7 years at Chatham has been seeing the huge growth in the science research days, all the students presenting the work that they're doing with faculty members. So I think that's a really great opportunity to test whether you see yourself doing research going forward. Sort of related to this question about career plans, I'd be curious if any of you have had an internship. You obviously all have work on campus that you're enjoying and learning from, but have you had any other internships or are you planning on one? Obviously, we ask each Chatham student to have at least one before they graduate. And if you've had it or are planning to, has that been a paid internship? Maddie, since you're on, maybe we'll start with you and then we'll go to you, Liz.
So I have not done any internship yet. I'm assuming it will probably be during like sophomore to junior year and probably something in the summer. But I've heard a lot of them are paid, so but I haven't gotten too much involved with the career development and talked to them about the internships yet, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, well, it's early days, but I do think it doesn't hurt. Too many students leave it toward that junior year, and I think the earlier the better. Liz, how about for you?
Dr. Feingold, I definitely agree with the earlier the better, because I waited a little bit longer than most students do. And though I am very blessed, I do have moments where I wish I would have started a bit earlier. This semester, I secured an internship position with Southwood Psychiatric Hospital, which is in St. Clair. And it is a paid internship, and it is well paid and has benefits. And honestly, it's a really, really great internship. I actually was afforded that internship through my advisor and through some professors that I've had, which is another great thing to know about Chatham. If you or another student is struggling to find your internship, I would be a firm believer in saying that your professors are the best people to talk to. They have great connections. But yeah, it's an incredible internship. Southwood is a state psychiatric hospital, so I am definitely looking forward to my experience there. And I've also already been offered a full-time position after graduation.
Wow, that's the home run. A good paid internship with a position after. So that's awesome. So we're running a little short on time. And there's a number of questions in the Q&A. So I'm just going to ask a couple of them for you, and then I'll ask each of you, just pick any one of them to answer. So one is asking about any particular favorite course you've had that wasn't a required one, but where you just really loved or learned something special. And then another one is asking, so your favorite place to hang out on campus, or if you have done or are planning to do any research with faculty. So you can take whichever you want. Mackenzie, we'll start with you.
All right, well, I think I easily know my favorite place to hang out on campus. I like to, if you go into the Mellon building, there's a sunroom off to the side where it is all windows, they all open, and it's all like patio furniture. And it gets a little chilly in there with all the windows, but up until it snows, I love to like grab breakfast and go in there to study or read for a few hours. It's very closed off, and also just the Mellon building is beautiful, just walking through it. It's older, so I kind of kind of feel like I might see a ghost a little bit sometimes. But like I think it's a beautiful building, and I love that room. It's a very open and well-lit space to study and to focus in.
It's literally my favorite room on campus. When we have new visitors, that's where I'll take them to lunch because it's so cool. Liz, how about for you?
I'm going to answer the question regarding taking a course that was not in my field. So I was a transfer student, so I came to Chatham as a junior, and that was when I declared a double major in criminology. And the reason that I declared that double major was because I took a criminology class with Dr. Christine Sarteshi, who is one of our associate professors of criminology here at Chatham University. And not only her passion and excitement for her own work, but also the research that I learned in that class made me want to pursue it in addition to my psychology major. So I will definitely say, like, if a student has to take, something that's not their major, or even if it's a general education requirement, it can definitely spark some interest. And it is so helpful for our first years, I think.
Yeah. And she happens to lead the cold case club, right? Which is like one of the most popular on campus, where students get to try to figure out new evidence, right? For cool cases. Maddie, how about for you?
I noticed someone asked if I had done research with any faculty, which I'm in my second semester as a first year, so I've not gone any research, but I'm working with Dr. Pope as her lab aide. So just doing very basic things, learning the ways of how to do the basics. But she says that a lot of her upper class students will end up doing research with her or under her, and she'll guide them to, end up presenting something. Usually on research day, they have that thing you can look around at everyone. So hopefully I'll be involved with that. And even working with grad students is something she does a lot. So that's also an option, hopefully later on.
And she has the super cool course where you get to decode your own microorganism and name it, right? So getting all of our students engaged in research early. Well, thank you all so much for a great discussion. I really appreciate you sharing your experiences. I want to turn it over now to Joanne Fiedler, who is our co-host for the event and is going to help us wrap it up.
Thank you, Dr. Feingold. My name is Joanne Fiedler, class of 72 and current member of Chatham's Board of Trustees. My giving has centered around faculty development, endowing along with family members a fund to support this effort. I have also supported the Thomas J. Hirschberger Scholarship Fund in honor of Dr. Hirschberger, Professor Emeritus, who was a colleague of mine. As we learned from Brian and Amy earlier, Chatham continues to focus on scholarship support as one of its top priorities to create increased accessibility to higher education. We'd like to share special thanks to all those generous donors who have established a named scholarship, whether it be expendable or endowed, and those of you who have joined your classmates in creating special class scholarship for Chatham students. Last year, we launched a special recognition society for our scholarship donors, the Peggy Donaldson 44 Scholarship Circle. The ultimate benefit of being a member of this circle is the opportunity to build a relationship with your scholarship recipient, as I have had the opportunity to do. This scholarship circle was named for Peggy Donaldson, a 1944 Pennsylvania College for Women graduate and former college administrator. As Chatham's director of admissions for almost 30 years, she encouraged thousands of women to pursue a college education and realize their potential. Many of you may have had the pleasure of knowing Peggy and may have been affected by her tireless efforts on behalf of the Chatham community. I would now like to pass the mic to Carrie Miller to conclude our Zoom presentation.
Thank you so much. And we were just delighted to see over 35 of our donors and alumni joining us today. This little event has grown in the pandemic, and we're just thrilled that from across the country, so many of you are able to join us and to learn from our students. So thank you. You're all on this call today because you've made an impact and a tremendous impact on our students and on Chatham. And so if you'd like to be more involved, we have a couple ways you can do that. We will follow up with some information on how you can get connected on our online mentorship program, Chatham Connect, or also with our Office of Career Development. And of course, if you feel compelled that you would like to make another gift to support our students, whether creating an endowed or expendable scholarship or just making a gift in honor of your class or in honor of someone that means something to you or just your own personal self, we would be delighted to help you with that too. So just reach out to us. We'll have our contact information and we will be glad to work with you. So thank you all again for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this as much as we have, and hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care.